The constructor, which is represented by the name of the class itself, is a special function which is going to be called when an object of that class is created. A constructor is generally used to initialize variables. So for example, I can set this variable to be 100. I can also use the initializer list, type the variable name, in parentheses give its value. The initializer list will always be called before the actual body of the constructor. In Unreal Engine, you should only be using constructors to initialize values as well as just create components. The reason is that this constructor is also called for the class default object. You can actually get a class reference in Unreal Engine, right? So that is due to something known as a class default object. So if you want to run some initialization logic, you should be using the construction script or the OnConstruction method. So this is similar to your construction script in Blueprint. So the order is as follows. First, the constructor is going to be called. Then the OnConstruction or the construction script in Blueprint is going to be called. After that, your begin play is going to be called. Make sure you call the super version of this function. So this will call it on the parent class as well. Another thing to note is that in Unreal Engine, you can only use the default constructor. You cannot use a parameterized constructor. If you want the features of a parameterized constructor, you'll have to use the expose on spawn property, which again, if you're familiar with Blueprint, you would already know. So if you were to use this line and if you were to call the spawn actor function, it's actually going to show the parameter in Blueprint. So let me just show that. So now, as you can see, when I call spawn actor and choose the class as my actor, you get this Blueprint read only var as a parameter. So this is the equivalent of expose on spawn. If you want to do this in C++, you would have to use the deferred spawn actor, which we'll talk about again when we talk about spawn actor.